at guys like DeMarcus Ware just went in the Hall
Yeah,
of Fame.
yeah.
Jerry Jones is the one that introduced him.
Mm-hmm.
So but I know for a
Very
fact
true.
Micah when he's done, nobody else is wearing 11. I can tell you that
Yeah,
much.
yeah. I tell you
Yeah,
that.
no, yeah,
So,
nobody else will be wearing 11.
so what's going on, guys? Welcome to Big Guilty Cigar Podcast. So right now we're talking, of course, my beloved Dallas Cowboys, and
Absolutely.
so we went live in between that. But I am joined by Howard G from Howard G Cigars from Kissimmee, Florida, right?
I'm born in Kissimmee. I live in Orlando, in Windermere.
Okay, all right,
Yeah,
all right,
but I'm
from
born in, I'm
down
born
in
and
that
raised in
Atlanta area.
Kissimmee. Yeah,
Okay,
in the South,
yep,
where it's 100 degrees outside.
yeah. You know what? I would say this: it's like up here, like that humidity is a killer. The humidity up here is a killer.
Yeah, it's awful down here, bro.
It's-
It's horrific.
so have you been to New York a few times or
Yeah, so I've been to New York maybe 10 times, maybe
okay
11 times. Um, as far as events wise, I have brokers a broker for upstate New York.
okay yeah
Um, but then I did a lot of stuff between New Jersey, that area.
okay
What's that?
okay
Edgewater,
yes
New
okay
Jersey.
yep yeah
Yeah, then
because
you go over the little bridge.
I'm over in Newark so
Okay,
Edgewater is
okay.
20 minutes away.
Okay, yeah, I did
Yeah,
some stuff there and some private lounges there, and then we go over I guess, the little bridge, and then you're right in New York.
okay.
Uh, yeah, so then I ended up at what's that casino? It was a casino right there.
And
It's
and
actually in New York.
over in Yonkers
It's
or
right,
in Queens.
not too far from Edgewater, New Jersey.
Okay, so yeah, the closest casino to Edgewater would be the one in Yonkers because the one in Yonkers is like is maybe a half an hour drive up.
What's the name of it? It's a new one, right?
It's the Raceway. Right, it's like
Nah, it
I think
wasn't.
it's like Raceway Casino.
It's a bigger name. I just can't think of it right now. My mind is
Mm,
blank, man. I've been ripping
it's
all day.
okay, it's all right. So all right, so now I bounce around just a little bit because I love talking about New York because that's where I'm from. So just let people know about your cigars, how you started your cigars, what made you want to get into cigars.
Okay,
I think we can go back to uh
from the
when did
beginning.
Howard yeah from the beginning.
So I started smoking cigars about 16 years ago,
Okay,
and here in Orlando, we've been pretty lucky to have some of the one of the top, I would say, three um, manufacturers, or not manufacturer, retailers in the
yeah,
country with Corona cigar, and
okay,
and so what I ended up doing is going there, and I started the first cigar I was ever smoked was called a Rocky Patel. It was a decade
okay,
Rocky Patel, and I liked that cigar. It was really cool. I was smoking
yeah,
that, and then a guy by the name of Paulie,
yeah,
he's a heavy customer for Coronas. He ends up saying, "Man, you know what, man? I've been seeing you a lot, man." He says, "I'm going to give you something." So he gives me this box press cigar. I look at it,
yeah,
and it says Padron 46. So
mm,
I cut it and I light it, and I literally was like, "Oh, whoa, there was a major difference here."
yeah,
And I smoked it, fell in love with it. So I go
mm,
back, I go to the to the register and to the cigar side, and I say, "Hey, can I get two more of these?" And the person was like, "Yeah." So
yeah,
when they rung it up, it wasn't what I was used to paying for the decade, right? It was it
exactly, yeah.
was it wasn't it wasn't
Those
it
patrols will
wasn't the
get you.
$10. It
Yep.
was $27, $28 a
Oof.
piece. So I said,
Yeah.
"Ooh." So I told the person over there on the bar side, I said, "Hey, you know, you remember I was ordering that Chimay Blue? I said, don't give me a Chimay Blue. Just give me
Yep.
a Bud Light." You
Yep.
know what I mean? I didn't
You gotta watch that
because
budget.
exactly. It was a whole budget. 16 years ago, the budget
Yeah.
was serious. And so when I came back, I went to go get Paulie. that Padron 46.
Yeah.
I want to tell him I enjoyed it so much. Thank you so much. I want to return the favor. And he looked at me. He said, I didn't give you that for you to get me one. He said, you
Mm-hmm.
smoke both of them. I'm going to help you with your palate. I said, okay. So I had both of them. And then about a couple of days later, I was in there and he says, all right, Howie, I got something else for you. And this time he gave me a Padron 80 year.
Okay.
And when I smoked that, I said, okay, this is my joint. So that was something that I smoked once or twice a day. Was a Padron 80. That was
Mm-hmm.
my favorite cigar. And so from there, I just became a normal, you know, person at Corona that
Mm-hmm.
was a regular, what we would call them. And then I got introduced to a legend in the cigar community, a legend by the name of Mr. Avo Uvezian. He's
Okay.
so have you ever heard of Avo cigars and things
Okay.
like that?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was the man. He was a Lebanese man. He was amazing, very 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 talented. If you ever heard of "Strangers in the Night" by Frank Sinatra,
Mm-hmm.
he was the one behind that song.
Oh, nice.
And so I had an opportunity of meeting him in around his 85th, 86 years old range. He had already sold the company to Davidoff, but he would come out with a legendary box of cigars
Yeah.
celebrating his birthdays in his latter years. So I remember they would have a party for him, and then I got invited to that party. And so the 88th birthday of Avo, he came out with a 16 count box that looked just like a piano, bro. When I say that
Wow.
it was this shiny, it was beautiful. And you
Mm.
open it up, then it had these keys on top. It looked like
Wow.
piano keys, and so he made 8,888 of those boxes just for that
Mm.
birthday year.
Yeah.
And so then the following year he had another one, and the following years like that. But he was a guy that we all started smoking with on the regular.
Yeah.
It was so cool to smoke with an actual cigar legend, right?
Yeah.
And so I would smoke with him about 3 to 4 times a week, and it got to the
Yeah.
point where one of us would pick him up because he was no longer
Yeah.
driving it, and bring him out there, set his pillow down, and he would
Yep.
sit down, and he would always go in his bag and hand you out one of his cigars, and
Mm-hmm.
says, well, what are you smoking? If somebody wasn't smoking Alvo, he'll
Yeah.
grab it, look at it,
Yeah.
drop it, step over it, and then give you one of his. He was just
Yeah.
very smooth.
Yeah.
So the whole idea of cigars came from him. One day we
Okay.
were just sitting out. I always call the OGs, the older gentlemen. I call them
Yeah.
Pop. And
Yeah.
so we were just sitting down, and he goes, you know what, Howie? I said, what's up, Pop? He goes, you should be in the cigar business. So I looked at him like, me?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, I said, why me? And he said something that was impactful, man. He goes, because you love the people like I love the people. And
Mm.
that hit me. And I said, wow. And so to fast forward it, shortly after him telling me that, within maybe 6 months, he passed away. And we had his celebration of life in the parking lot of Corona Cigar,
Wow.
Sand Lake, the headquarters store. And so from that particular time, that seed was this then deposited in my mind. It was
Yeah.
dropped in there. And what happens, man, if you look at life, a lot of times people can just tell you something, and it go in one ear out the other. But when
Exactly.
when someone else tells you it again, then it resurfaces like,
Mm.
really, this is something that is happening. And so maybe a year later, 9 months, a year later, one of my buddies comes to town out of Miami. Alex is his name. He comes to town and he wants to link up with me.
Yeah.
And when we get to Corona, I get to Corona. He's already there. It takes me about 25 minutes to get over there to him where he's at. So he goes, dude, it took you 25 minutes to get over here, man. He's like, you're the mayor here. I said, yeah, pretty much. He goes, you ever thought about making a cigar?
Yep.
Well, that brought up what Alvo told me.
Yep.
It was like an open wound again. I said, man, my papa used to tell me that. He goes,
Mm-hmm.
then Alex said, well, did you forget that my brother owns 50% of the factory in Nicaragua that produces 8 to 10 million cigars a year or 12 million cigars a year? And I said, I sure did forget about that.
Yep.
And so that's where the whole mindset came from.
Yeah.
My favorite cigar is Padron 80 years, so I like the construction, the age, the length of the cigar.
Mm-hmm.
I like the consistency in that cigar. I like when you smoke that cigar, how you have a long ash all the time. At least I did. And so I wanted to construct something that was similar to me in my own way that
Yeah.
I could also sell at a better price point.
Exactly. It's
Uh,
which is affordable. Exactly. Which is
yes,
the biggest thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at it like 30. $15, $16 a stick is a lot more affordable than
Yeah.
37 to 40. So
Exactly.
for the masses for us, and so that's
Yeah.
one of the ways we did it. We started with the Black Moses Maduro, which is a
Okay.
box press perfecto.
It's the one thing is the hardest thing is, especially when you're a new cigar brand, is really just getting that cigar in people's hands. That's the hardest thing, and price point is the hardest part, because some people will come out with the cigar, and automatically it's 15 $16.
Hmm.
But at that time, nobody knows who you are, so it's not, so it's like, damn, am I gonna pay $15 for a cigar that I've never smoked before? So you kind of have to, when you're making it, you go, all right, how do I make something that's around 10 to $12? So this way, when they see it, it catch their eye. They go, all right, you know what, it's $10. I like the band, I like the band, I like the presentation of it. Let me give it a try. Because at 15 $16, you're like, that's a nice presentation, but I never heard of it. And for 16, I'm a I'm a I'm a I'm a quantity guy. So my mindset immediately goes to, oh, I can get two cigars for $16. You
I
know?
look at it. I look at it a little different where I'm at here. For
Yeah,
me, we didn't have that issue. For us,
yeah,
number
yeah,
one, number one, a lot of times when you don't know what your quality of your product is, it's a little
yeah,
different.
yeah,
If you're making a $8 cigar, you're trying to charge 16, that'll be an issue.
yeah,
But when you know um, exactly what it is in your product, exactly the
hmm,
age, the list, the age of the
yeah,
tobacco before it's rolled, after when it's construction of its rolled, how long you
hmm,
let it rest, and
yeah,
things like that. All that goes into play with that. When you look at your packaging, you look at what
yeah,
you're portraying. That's one thing, because I'll tell you this: there's, especially where we're at,
yeah,
in our markets, as far as in when you we walk into the cigar spot, it's kind of like a I would say here it's more like it's like walking into a super Walmart, right?
so yeah,
You
I
walk
got,
into Coronas,
yeah,
there's 2 million cigars inside the store,
yeah,
and so you'll have people that come in and say, hey, if you look at the legacy brands, they'll say, hey,
yeah,
well, where's your Davidoffs, if that's what they're looking for, or you'll say, hey, where's your Drew Estates or the different ones like that. But then you have brands that um, people look at and say, well, you know what? Wow, well, this is in here, and
yeah,
I've never seen this one before. But tell me about this
hmm,
cigar.
yeah,
That's where the people at the store
hmm,
who has
have
the
to, yeah,
cigar, the sales reps. That's why if they've tried the cigar or if they've been educated on the cigar, they can actually talk to
yeah,
the
to people, yeah,
consumer
consumer,
themselves. You know what I mean? They can say, "Hey, you know what? You never heard of this brand, but I'll tell you, this is one of my best cigars. This
yep,
is the notes that I get from it. I smoke this amount of time and things like that." But then outside of that, it's just there are people that are going to come in and they're going to ask for certain things because that's what they know and
yep,
that's what they have. So one of the good things is when you're a new company is you just want to get it out there and get it into
exactly,
your own zone. So but even
hmm,
we went out of before we so right now currently we're in 28 states. But when we first we got started a little different. We didn't get started like an average company.
yeah,
What we did was we went and utilized our resources of individuals that are
yep,
real deal smokers. Because that's the
yeah,
good thing about this. When you're a real deal smoker, there are people, manufacturers and even reps for that's been with companies for 7, 10, 15 years.
hmm,
They would come down to Orlando. If they was coming to Orlando, they was coming to Corona, they were giving me a call.
mm,
Like, hey,
yeah,
hey, bro, I have an event at Corona. You gonna be in town? I
hmm,
got something for you, blah blah blah. So when you have those relationships like that, once I decided to go into that business, the first thing I did is I gave out 500 cigars, not single cigars. I put different cigars in it and told them what I wanted them to smoke first, second, third, fourth, and then give me what's your feedback on this. I sent that out over
Mm-hmm.
500 different individuals that I had personal relationships with that were
Mm-hmm.
real deal smokers. So it wasn't like it was somebody over here that doesn't have access or doesn't hasn't been smoking for that long,
Mm-hmm.
trying to figure some things out. It was more of a direct plan that we was
Mm-hmm.
executing that way. And I'll
Yeah.
tell you this, after that, coming out with that, that was great. But then what was another I would say like lighter fluid to a grill is when I started my All Pro series and I brought
Mm.
in two of my best friends
Yeah.
that are like my brothers, um, and Ike Taylor and Leon Searcy that are legends. And
So,
so,
so
but
quick question. Just I just because I want to get the backstory on how you met Ike and Leon. Because
I've known them both for over 10 years. So
okay, yeah,
yeah. This
Ike's been retired for what, maybe what, 7 8 years now.
I retired in 2012, 14, one of them.
Yeah, because I know he had a pretty long career down there in Pittsburgh. Where he played like 10 years. You know,
12 years with Steelers.
yep. So yeah, and for him to play 12 years, and the one thing about Ike is a skinny dude. I wouldn't say skinny, but as a
I mean,
DB,
he's a
he could
corner.
play.
So he's a corner. The difference with him is
Yeah,
he want to knock your head off. So when
that exactly, exactly.
a lot of corners are scared to be physical, and so
Mm-hmm.
if you look at how Ike played violent.
Yeah.
He was a corner that played like a safety,
Mm-hmm.
and so he wanted to drop the hammer. He would rather he would rather blow you up when
Didn't
the
make an
pass is
interception.
coming than to make an interception.
Mm-hmm.
That was his thing. And so, but if you look at and it's been so I have the privilege of being around him and all the Steeler guys. And
Yeah.
what's so cool about it is that when you look at who he was playing with, this
Mm-hmm.
guy's playing with. You got Troy Polamalu, one of the best safeties ever
Right.
to
Right.
ever
And
do it,
yep.
is right
Right back
behind
here.
him. So he's like, man, I can go ahead and let me try to hit him. Because if I can't knock him out, I know it's gonna be some hair flying, and he's gonna definitely level you
Exactly.
next. And then not and then on the pivot right there, Orion
Yeah.
Clark was the other
Ryan Clark
safety.
was on the other side.
And
You
so
know,
so it was one of those things. And then who's in front of him? You got Debo,
James
which is
Harrison
James Harrison and and,
and
and,
and
and James Ferrier and Joey Porter and all those boys. So they
yeah,
had a squad that their defense was just tough nosed. The defense ran the team. You know
yeah,
that. It was
yep,
like that old Ravens 2000
yeah, yep.
Ravens. They
Well,
defense ran the team.
if you think about if you think about the AFC North, that's what it is. AFC
Mhm.
North is bring your lunch and your hard hat because my defense is coming.
Absolutely,
You know,
absolutely.
so because that's how like even with Cincinnati, playing like a newer stat with Burrow throwing for over 300 yards a game.
Hmm.
No, that defense is still they coming for you, and
Yeah,
also too, and they run the ball. See, everybody want to down the running backs and not pay them. No, you have to be able to run the ball. You got to be able to do, you got to be able to keep the game balanced and control the clock. Controlling the clock is the hardest part.
absolutely, absolutely,
But
absolutely. Yeah, that clock. If you can't control the clock, you in trouble. If you can't
exactly,
control the clock, because a person who had to mess around and get a lead and had the clock and be able
well,
to run that ball.
exactly. And here's the thing: is the same thing with what happened with Philadelphia in the Super Bowl. They had the ball for double the time. If
Hmm.
you have the ball for double the time, that game should be done. That game should be over.
Absolutely right. I mean, also you look at it too. You know, they helped them out when they gave up a fumble
Yeah,
recovery for a touchdown.
yeah,
So I mean, it's one thing to have a turnover, but it's another thing to give the team your opposing team another 7 points. Take away them 7 points, guess what?
Mm-hmm.
Eagles win the Super Bowl. So I'm glad it happened the way it did because I'm a Cowboy.
Hey, listen, you already know. You already know how you. Everybody that watch my channel know how I roll. No, I'm the big. I am the biggest Cowboy guy.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
so
not about those Cowboys. It's
yeah,
very serious around
exactly.
here.
But so you talk about your Legend series, and I know that so Leon, so the blends for Leon and the blends for Ike. So
Mhm.
I know Ike has the Ike actually came on with my guy with my mentor Sanj Patel on his
Okay.
blog. Yeah.
Okay.
So so I was when he said he had Ike on, I was kind of giving Sanj just a little rundown on who he is, stuff like that, because Sanj, he don't know about sports, so so because like Maddie Rock knows about sports.
Yeah.
So Maddie knows about sports. I was just like giving Sanj a little heads up on who he is, what he does. He's a old ex football player, Super Bowl champion, stuff like that. And when he came on, I noticed that the cigar band with the clown face, with the Joker face.
The one of a kind.
Yeah, yeah. So and Leon has the 72 series, correct?
Now Leon has the All Pro Series Leon Cersei. So that's
Yes.
gonna. But we have 72 on it because he was number
Okay.
72
Yeah.
in the NFL.
And apparently, like, because I got one thing I always do. I always got to make sure I research my guests. So I always go back and I'll look at a couple podcasts you did before, just so I can get a general idea of who you are, because I don't want to come on here blind, and but you said Leon cigar is going to be an 8x60.
So yeah, Leon Cigars 8 3/4 by 60 ring gauge. That's the big Sirs.
Oh,
And then last year we released the Little Sirs, which is
okay,
a 5.5 by 58 ring gauge.
okay,
Yeah. So
yeah,
Leon was Leon. A lot of people don't know about Leon. Leon was a 3-time national champion, Miami Hurricanes. So he's the greatest
come
offensive
on,
lineman
man.
in the history of
I'm
the.
a oh, come on now.
You a
Yeah,
Kane and a
listen,
Cowboy?
listen. I know we agree on certain things, but there's one thing that we're not going to agree on.
Well, we're definitely not going to agree on that because I'm a Florida State Seminole. I'm a diehard. This is what it is right here. 42.
No, you're not.
How bad we beat y'all last year? How bad we beat y'all?
No,
man. Refresh my memory, bro. I literally forgot how bad.
To my boy's defense, we haven't had a quarterback in probably over 10 years. And to me, it doesn't make sense when you have such a big cream of talent down there in Dade County. And it don't make sense to me how you can't keep them kids at Dade County or get people into that stadium. That's the other thing. That stadium should be full.
Let me tell you this. The years of the time when Miami was the rawest thing ever.
Yeah.
It's when they had the Michael Irvins and the Ed Reeds and all those guys. Those guys were actually, as college students, were more popular than the Miami Dolphins.
Exactly, yeah.
And because so listen,
those guys were, but don't you remember too? Those guys are Dade County kids, so they grew up in Miami. So that's all they knew was, I want to be a Hurricane. That was it. It was in their blood.
Well, some of them, listen. Some of them, the Hurricanes gave them an option because Florida State didn't want them, like Ray Lewis. So there's some underlying stuff. Don't just
listen. First of all, y'all had Randy Moss and let him walk.
Hey, listen, we got standards at Florida State. You got certain standards, bro.
Standards.
We got certain standards.
Standards.
We got certain standards, man.
No, standards. Yeah.
We got standards, man. You know what I mean? It's like standards.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Listen, if you come to the school and then you start getting in trouble, that's one thing. But if you got serious issues before you get to the school, think about that now.
And listen, I guarantee you this. I I guarantee you, your coach. Man, what he was a legend too. But I guarantee you, he was kicking himself when he was watching Randy Moss at Marshall. He said, "You know what? Maybe I should have stuck it out because he could. All he had to do was throw that ball up to him.
That's it.
He'd have been a terror down there at Florida State.
Oh my God! Listen, man, he would have went down as the greatest receiver in all time.
Think about it too, because he would have been there with Peter Warrick.
He would have been a little bit before Peter Warrick.
Okay, before Peter Warrick. Peter Warrick was my guy growing up. I loved Peter Warrick when he played.
I thought you was.
I did, man. I did. But
come on, man.
Listen.
Man. You love prime time too, didn't you? You love prime time. You love prime time when he was at Florida State too, huh?
Well, Deion's a Cowboy. It's different.
No, he was a Cowboy a little bit of time, but he was prime time in Florida State.
Listen,
I'm talking about the wet Jerry curl. You know what I mean? That was. I mean, the Jerry curl looked wet, but it was dry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yep.
But yeah, that's what it was. But I'll give you this. And the reason I don't really say too much negativity around the Hurricanes is because I have so many of my partners are Hurricanes and the Hurricane legends.
Yep.
And a lot of these guys I'm with every single week. And we talk trash when it comes to head up. I mean, but other than that, I root for Miami if they're playing anybody else except Florida State. Now, there's one team I don't root for, and that's the Gators. I'm sorry, I just don't. I don't like the Gators.
Let me tell you this: it's very interesting when you talk about, those three schools, because there's so much controversy with those three schools.
Yeah,
Miami had players walking around strapped to practice, and Florida had killers on their team just getting in trouble.
Real deal murderers now. Real deal.
Yeah, exactly. And and Florida State was fighting, was getting in the brawls with teams every other Saturday. So
I mean, it's testosterone, man. You have to let the testosterone out. It's very hard to just diffuse the testosterone once the adrenaline gets going.
Once you start ramping up.
But we need to be contained. We did ours on the field. We didn't leave the field and have to deal with law enforcement with taking out our anger.
So how about so since you meet a lot of players, what's one guy you met and sat and had a cigar with that you were just kind of still in shell shock and kind of awe when you had a cigar with them? No, really?
No. I have a whole bunch of it's only one guy to me. Only one guy to me that to me I'm like, oh man, this is this guy. And that guy is Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Anybody else anybody else is normal to me, bro. Yeah. No, swear to God, really. I'm a fan, and it's like, hey, what's up, bro? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah. But you said for me to sit back and be like, man, I'm sitting here smoking a cigar with such and such. Like is that for me to feel like that, that's Michael Jordan. That's him.
So if now, because I'm pretty sure everybody know what Mike smokes Cubans, and so if you can give Mike one of your cigars to smoke to try out, to try to be like, yo, you know what, Mike, I think you really would like this one. Which one are you going to on your line? It's a hard question, but from what you hear, what you think about Mike's palate from the interviews with Cigar Aficionado, stuff like that.
I would pay attention to that kind of stuff because I have buddies that actually know Mike, and so that cigar that you're smoking right there, that you're smoking currently, and one of my buddies gave him that's really tight with him.
Yeah,
plays golf with him at Jordan's golf place in Jupiter.
Okay,
and he literally took that cigar and another one of ours, and he said, "Listen, I'm gonna get these to MJ tomorrow while we're playing golf." And I was like, "That's what's up. That's cool." Yeah. But what Mike smokes the most is, of course, he smokes the most Cubans because he has a direct connect. They consider him what it is, but it's been going on like that for years.
Yeah.
But that still doesn't necessarily mean
he has smoked New World stuff. Yeah.
Because a lot of times, the difference with I give you an example with my All Pro series is my guys literally we took them down, and this is what means a lot to me personally is Leon and Ike. You know,
Yeah.
both of them are two different individuals. They
Yeah.
both have two different they're two different sizes in life. One's a real big mammoth of a guy, but he's a teddy bear, and then
Yeah.
another guy is more shredded than Donald Trump's tax returns, which is
Exactly.
Ike. I mean,
And I
he's
and I
ripped.
and Ike is from Louisiana, right? Went to
Yeah,
Louisiana
Louisiana,
Tech too, right?
Lafayette, Raging
Yep.
Cajuns.
Yep.
And so what the cool thing about it is they have two different types of palettes, two different types of styles.
Yep.
But what's the main thing for us is that the cigars that they have was off of their palette. So we
Mm-hmm.
went through with Ike, we went through over 40 different types of blends,
Yeah.
and I would just narrow them down, and that's how we started with the Ike Taylor Sumatra. And then with the Leon Cersei, I had a more of an idea of the different types of cigars that he goes to on the
Yeah.
regular, and so we was able to bring notes from the different ones like that and put a package together for him, and
Mm-hmm.
then say what you like about this, and then we narrowed everything down for Leon and made that big search. And when we made that big search, Leon said, "Man, Howie," he says, I got a tear in my eye. This is my favorite cigar." And
Mm-hmm.
so my main thing is number one, I'm a relationship type of individual.
Yeah.
So those are my brothers. It's not about making it's about the love for them and what
Yep.
they've been able to do and been celebrated. And hey, for Ike, Ike was a two-time Super Bowl champion. Been there three
Mm-hmm.
times, won two of them, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
with Leon, you know, Leon, people don't understand how amazing Leon is. Leon
Mm-hmm.
Cersei is the greatest offensive lineman in the history of the Miami Hurricanes. He has
Mm-hmm.
three national championships, and he was Bill Cowher's very first draft pick in 1992
Wow.
in the first round. And
Yep.
that's who they drafted him. What was crazy is the Cowboys was actually in Leon's house. He was
Mm.
going to the Cowboys because his coach was Jimmy Johnson in Miami. He was coaching the Cowboys. They said, "Leon, we're gonna grab the Cowboys and grab you. You're gonna be a Cowboy." He said, "Yes, sir, coach." So he kicked back. He kicked back because he said at the 17th pick, "I'm going to Dallas." But
Mm-hmm.
they, but the Steelers intercepted it and brought him
Yep.
in there, and he became a Steeler. But um, but I tell him this all the time. I say, you got three national championships, but you lost in that '96 Super Bowl to the Cowboys. But
Exactly.
if you would have been a Cowboy, you would have had three
You three
national
ring.
championships and three Super Bowl rings. That would have been just
No, what?
crazy.
I should have had four because we got robbed in '94.
Yeah, we did. But
Yeah.
primetime was on that other team. That's why we
But
had
no,
to.
but
Jerry
but
Jones
but
had to get him.
prime time got burnt twice by Irvin on a 50-yard bomb. He got burnt twice on
Yeah.
back-to-back series.
Yep. Well,
That's 14 points right there. We've been up.
well, that's the playmaker now. Hey, Michael Irvin was cold. Like
Exactly.
if you don't
So
have Michael Irvin in your top five for receivers, you don't really know football, in my opinion, because you can't look at just who threw. You got to remember back then they didn't throw the ball 18,000 times. You know what
exactly.
I'm
Yep.
saying? They ran the ball first,
Yep.
but Michael Irvin was the playmaker, man.
Yeah.
He did his thing, and he wasn't the fastest joker
At all. Honestly, I think they said Mike ran like a 4.6.
Yeah, he wasn't running no 4.3s and four
Yeah.
fours like a lot of the faster ones, but he was cold.
He was
He
cold,
was
and
cold,
and
man.
he was physical.
And he was physical.
He
Yeah,
was
and he was.
physical.
I think he was the emotional. I think he was a leader on the team on offense from like
Yeah.
emotional
Oh yeah.
standpoint.
Oh yeah.
Like yeah, but he was. I mean, I look back at his highlights. I'm like, man, I wish
Well,
you was
you know
around
what?
right now.
That injury really,
Yeah,
But I would say this: Mike about to get paid.
yeah.
He
Listen, yeah,
he about to get
yeah.
paid.
What?
I'm happy for him. You
Yeah,
know.
he's about to. Yeah, you bet. You sure right about that, bro. Yeah, you sure right about that.
You know. But just go like just to give you a better idea of when it comes to just so this way a little bit about me as because you're like who is this guy, so like I go to that's my home base, so I go there and Sanj just sits there and he's been in the business since '92. So
Okay.
he's seen everybody. And he goes, well, back in this day, tobacco was like this. Back
Yeah.
in this way, cigars were like that. And he knows every blender, he knows everybody. And he
Hmm.
will sit there and I'll grab a cigar and he'll watch the show. He'll go grab a cigar. When I know I mess up, he'll go get a cigar. Come on, sit down, and he'll sit there and talk to me just about you know just where I could have got more out of, just more about the tobacco,
Hmm.
because at the end of the day, like cigars is my love and my passion, and also too just talking to people in the cigar industry. So
No,
and
absolutely.
like next whenever you come back up to the tri-state area, you got to stop by Sanja's.
Absolutely, man.
You know,
I see. My thing is see the way my body is connected to the warm weather is better than
yeah.
the cold weather. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So we can set something up, my brother, but it got to make sure it's when I'm not able to be frozen. I don't want to
Yeah, you know
freeze.
what? I'm the same way because I can't. I always tell people I can't live an hour out. I can't live an hour outside of New York City. I need that toxic energy from the city because I work in Manhattan. So I always tell people,
Gotcha.
yeah, I need that. I need that energy, that New York. Like especially if I'm going into because every now and again I gotta go to the Bronx for just a little bit. Then
Gotcha.
I got the only two places I don't go to is Queens and Staten Island because Queens is confusing it's confusing for no reason.
Yeah.
Queens is confusing for no reason, and nobody goes to Staten Island.
Hmm.
Nobody goes.
So
Nobody goes.
Queens, I think I've been to Queens, not for
Okay.
cigars. It was,
Yeah.
I had a business meeting up there in Queens, and it
Yeah.
was, is it called Flushing?
Yes.
Flushing,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Flushing Queens.
I
Yep.
remember, and it was cold. I remember having a long, I had a suit on and a long, one of
Yep.
those long coats all the way down, and I had my cowboy beanie with a
Yep.
star right
Uh huh.
there, and there
Yep.
was a picture I took it in the back. It was like a building that said Queens Crossings or something that
Yeah.
was up there. But that was a few years back, and
Yeah.
I tell you, I was like, it was definitely interesting,
Yeah. Yeah.
Queens
Queens.
compared to
New
the
York City.
New York City. It was a
Yeah.
little different vibe.
Yeah. Every borough is different. Brooklyn is
Yeah,
different. You know, Harlem will try to consider themselves their own little borough too. So if you go to Harlem, Harlem is its own little world. You
Harlem
know,
World.
let me tell if no, you want to know how if somebody's from Harlem, they outfit gotta be on point all the time. They
Okay,
outfit got they outfit like you can't be from Harlem and not have
you
swag.
got to be clean. You got
You
your
gotta
swag.
be
Got to
clean.
be.
Gotta be clean.
They
Gotta
call it
be clean.
fleazy down here.
Yeah. Yeah, you got like the Jordans got to match the shirt, gotta have the matching
Yeah,
fitted. Like because if you look at Cameron and
yeah,
Mace,
yeah.
all them Harlem guys, they
That's
always
true.
and they always gotta be out. They're like
You
they're
got to
like
be
peacocks.
seen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you got
got
to
like
see me.
peacocks. You gotta see me. You gotta see me.
Well,
You
listen.
know.
Now listen, I'll tell you this. Now you caught me on the day when I'm just wearing the Howard G Polo
Yeah.
because I'm moving boxes and shipping and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But
Uh huh.
now at the shows, now my normal uniform at the shows is my Robert Graham shirts. That's my
Okay.
and those are very colorful now.
Uh huh.
But not Harlem World colorful. You know what I mean? I ain't trying to be, but I do like to throw on my colors,
I,
man.
I
And
would say this. It was crazy because if you think about back that time when Dipset was hot,
hmm
they had everybody wearing pink.
for real.
They had everybody wearing I was wearing pink in high school with with a 6X t-shirt.
Hey, remember the real big ones.
The real
You
big ones.
you
Yep.
the
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
the one X wearing the big two.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
I used to go with 6X tees, pants way too big.
too big. Yeah,
You had to fold them up at the bottom, but you couldn't say nothing, man. You had to have a pair of uptowns with the
yeah,
with the
yeah.
with the with the matching do rag. Your do
Yeah.
rag had to match, and you had to have one underneath, and you roll it up. So this way it looked two tone. So you
That hey, that's hey, that was listen down here. So y'all call them uptowns. We call them forces, right?
oh,
And
oh
so
yeah.
and so what's funny is I have so many partners that will come that end up turning into my buddies.
Uh-huh.
But I be like, I say, I see you, son. You know,
Uh-huh.
what you do yesterday. You know what I mean? I say, I
Yeah.
see you, son. You know,
Uh-huh.
and bro, honestly, man, one of my buddies was just so he had convinced me. I ended up going to buying some my first pair of some butters. You
Oh,
know what I mean? I went to buy some butters, bro. So
oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean. I had to go. I had to
Yeah.
cop some butters, man. And now
Yeah.
it's just a part of the wardrobe now. Like when it's
Uh-huh.
get cold, when it's cold, I look forward to throwing on
Yeah.
them butters. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But I could never get like y'all with it. Y'all wear them with shorts.
Yeah.
Man, it's 100 degrees out here, man. You wear them with shorts, bro. Do you know
Shorts.
how
Listen,
heavy them boots is?
listen. Let me tell you this. Let me tell you this, man. But even with them boots on, we still bust out a 4240.
Yeah.
You let that pop on. We still hit the 40.
You go.
What? Uh-huh. Shoot. Like Jadakiss said, man, back in the day. Jadakiss said, he said them Timbs start feeling like Nike Airs on me. You know? So yeah,
Hey, did
man.
you ever have you up there since you just released that coffee? Have you tried this coffee?
Not yet.
J-
Not yet. But here's the funny thing about that. Growing up, because Jadakiss never really spoke about his family, so you didn't know. I grew up in the next town over in New Rochelle. So D Block is so the locks is like our guys
Yeah,
because they hold down the area code. So I had no idea that his father was in his life because he never really brought it up.
yeah.
And for him to now venture out into, because at first they started off with the hats. They had a hat store, then they had
Mm-hmm.
the juicing store, and now Jadakiss got the coffee line, which his dad was always in his ear when you want to start the coffee line, always in
Yeah,
his ear. So I need to get a bag of it. But here's the thing: that locks hat that they be wearing is
yeah.
150.
This the plain LOX hat, bro.
Yeah,
So this
yeah,
the really
150.
wow.
Listen, after that, after that versus,
Yeah. Oh, he
prices went up.
killed it. Oh man, he killed it.
Yeah,
Killed it.
prices
He killed it.
prices went up. You know,
I always tell people too. I'm like, when they talk about these top five or these different rappers, I say, bro, you got to break it down to type to styles though.
well,
It's like
it's
it's
styles, but here's the thing: it's longevity. They've been
yeah.
around so much that they can hit you with so many different hits. Because you gotta understand, when they started with Puffy, they had
Mm-hmm.
hits. Then
Yep.
when they left Puffy, it was independent. They had hits from when they was battling 50.
Mm-hmm.
And then no matter what, they still got tracks featuring on other people's stuff. So
Yeah.
they got 30 years of hits that can just really just destroy you. So that right
But
there was.
but Jada he could destroy you by his damn self, man.
Hey,
When
listen,
he
he destroyed Fabulous, and
oh
Fabulous had
my
a
gosh.
cabinet, and Fab been around since '96 too, and
Is
he's
it just me or that Fabulous is better as a
featured artist.
feature on a song instead of his doing his own thing?
How
Like
about
when
this
he
one?
did,
Method Man's the same way.
you know what? I agree with you with that.
Meth's the
I
same
I
way.
agree with you with that. I agree with
Meth,
you on that.
because when Meth has his own album, Meth maybe have maybe 3 or 4 tracks that are good. The rest of the
Yeah.
album, but
Yeah.
if Method Man has to drop just to 16, oh, forget about it.
Yeah.
You know, and Red Man's another one that when he features on your track, oh, he's bringing fire.
Yeah.
So you better be prepared. You know, it's
Nah.
it's 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 one of those things where music is like because and you kind of have a insider's view to kind of see you know what these guys smoke because people think that these guys may only smoke Cubans or just smoke upscale stuff. And then you're like, nah, these guys, like, they actually go to these brands here.
Mm-hmm.
and which is pretty interesting because I always wonder what when rappers smoke, what they go to, because not Nas has his own cigar out
Mm-hmm.
called Escobar.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh wow, okay. I haven't tried it yet, but I gotta find it and just pick up a couple.
Yeah,
You know.
but one thing, man, I always look at is everybody has their own palate, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what? So I tell people this all the time. I say Ike Taylor, he doesn't eat meat, right? So
Yeah,
he's a seafood and carbs guy, right? That's all.
yeah,
Now you look now me, my go to, I'm a beef guy, so I love my steak.
yeah,
And I
yep.
and my favorite meal of all time, the greatest thing ever to me is oxtails. I love my oxtails. I
Oh
cook
man,
oxtails.
see why you gotta go? Why you gotta go there for?
I
See,
cook
because
oxtails twice a month, bro.
my dad is from Grenada.
Okay.
So my dad is from Grenada. So when it comes to oxtail, stewed chicken, curry
Yeah.
goat, oh,
Yes.
I can eat that all day,
Every day. Me
every
too.
day.
Me
You
too,
know,
bro.
and so like in like the sawfish. So I don't eat
Mm-hmm.
fish, but as a kid, I don't know why, but I can eat sawfish. I can
So you're a selfish guy.
I can tear some sawfish up. I can tear some sawfish up, man.
But
You know,
so what I was saying is so I'm a beef, steak and oxtail guy. Ike's fish.
Mhm.
Leon is a chicken pork
Yep,
type guy.
yeah,
So when somebody asks me, so if we all go, if me, Ike, and Leon go to dinner
yep,
together, 9 out of 10 times, Leon's gonna get something like that. Ike's gonna get something like that, and I'm gonna get,
hmm,
I'm gonna definitely get a steak because they don't sell oxtails at certain spots, right?
yeah,
So, so my thing is when somebody comes to me and say, "Well, what's your favorite cigar? I mean, what's the best cigar on your line?" I say, "Well, I can't tell you what's the best cigar on
exactly.
the
That's
line
the problem.
because
Yeah,
I would have to be giving my own opinion. Who
yeah.
cares what my best cigar is of my favorite? What's more
What do you
important is
like?
what's your favorite? Do you
Exactly.
like more of a mild cigar that's with flavor? Do
Hmm.
you like more of a medium that's gonna give you some spice? It's gonna be very flavorful but not too overbearing? Or
Yep.
are you somebody that you want them to meet you in the A gap like a full out blitz and you want a guy
Hmm.
going full body? Like
Hmm.
what do you want? What is your style? Because so many times people try to, instead of getting what's tailor made for their palate,
Yep.
they want to smoke what this person smoked because of who this
Yes.
person is. And
Yep.
even if the cigar is way too strong for them, they're sitting there like a damn idiot, sitting there
Oh,
trying to
dying.
impress this guy, and they over here about to have
Dying.
a headache or fall
Yep.
out in the cigar bar. And
Yeah.
so I tell people anytime when somebody's talking about a cigar, they're only giving their opinion.
Yep.
Even when people try to give ratings out, right?
Yeah.
They're giving
Yes.
their opinion. The
Yep.
only way for you to know if you're gonna like something or not is for you to give it a try. And
And
what's
that's
cool is once you like something on the brand, you say, okay, all right, I found something on this brand that could be my go-to. All right, you know
hmm
what? Let me venture and try something else on that line because I like this one, right? And
hmm
that's my way that I think is the best way that I would, like you said about introducing the
Yep.
line or introducing things to the consumer,
Yep.
because I want you to know for yourself what is it that you like about this cigar. How does this work? Are you a person that likes the retro hell? Are you tasting any notes?
Yeah.
If you are tasting any notes, what notes are you tasting? Right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you're a person that's an experienced smoker, how did it change on the second third from the first third, or was it the same throughout? Like these are the types of things that you want to get from a person that's actually smoking a cigar that they can give you their actual opinion,
Yep.
and then you find out, hey, you know what? This is something that's in their will, in their palate,
Yep.
And so the problem with the part about when you're dealing with the celebrities is if the cigar is not made from the celebrity's palate,
Yep.
you know what I mean? Then I think it's not cool because you. One thing I tell people, and if you do an interview with Ike or you do an interview with Leon,
Mm-hmm.
they'll say I can say when you smoking a one of a kind, you smoking my palate. That's how he said.
Yeah.
He said you smoking my palate. That's my
Uh-huh.
palate. So if
Yeah.
you like my palate, if you rocks with my palate, then that's what's up. Then you check out
Yep.
the one of a kind. That's how he said. And he said now if my palate might be too medium or might not be too low, but you can go over here to my brother, and my brother gonna have the Black Moses Maduro, or you gonna check
Yep.
out the Big Search, and that'll give you a little bit more power. And if you want to bring it all the way down and go to the smoothest level and the mildest with flavor, then you got to come over here to my one of a kind Connecticut. But what
Yep.
happens is he never just gives somebody a cigar
Yep.
anymore without finding out
That's the
what do they normally smoke.
that's the first. So, you know, the first thing that I learned, and especially at my cigar shop, and so if Sandra's in the back taking care of business, I'll be in the front. And the first thing somebody comes in, I'm like, "How can I help you?" He goes, "I'm looking for something. I'm not a big time smoker, or because Sanj carries a lot of boutique brands. So, but what happened is that people will come in there for certain brands that we
Mm-hmm.
don't carry, and so I had to ask, "What do you normally smoke?" All right, let me find something that's very similar to that you can have. Also, too, it's now expanding it. It's now expanding your palate to try something
Absolutely.
new, because I'm pretty sure you see that Corona. You see that guy every day smoke that same cigar every day, and you just want to smack it out of his hand and just say, just try this, man. Just try something new. You just want to go smack it out of his hand and say, no, take this. Don't no, just take it and try it and tell me what you think. Just because they like people like some people just like to stay in that box. You're like,
Creatures of habit.
exactly. You like just like, you know, don't go to that Padron. Try this. Tell me
Well,
what you
we're not
think.
going. I'll tell you this, bro. We're not going to allow you to do that if you're a person that comes and sits down at the lounge.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna allow that. Like, just we ain't gonna let, bro. That's all you ever smoke. You ain't never tried nothing else in your life. We're not gonna allow
Exactly.
that. Now, the people that walk in, buy cigars, and leave, and they're gonna be creatures of
Yeah.
habits. That's fine.
Yeah. That's
But
yeah.
the thing about being in the lounge and being in there, meaning you're there having a drink or however, and we start a conversation. Now we have something in common,
Yeah.
And so you know. I won't knock what it is that they're smoking, even if they smoke the
Yeah.
same thing every single day. But what I would ask them is like, what it is. Let me ask you a question. I always notice that you always smoke this same particular cigar.
Hmm.
Can you give me the reason why? Because I want to know, what does that cigar give you to make you only be in love and being married to that particular cigar? Because
Exactly.
if that's the case, I'm gonna go smoke it next and see if it gives me the same commitment that it's giving you. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And then
Yep.
and if so, then I'm gonna make a blend like that so I can get you over the Howard G cigar brand, and you can
Exactly.
have a commitment like that as well.
Oh,
It's just, but
exactly.
but it's a conversation piece, and you know
Exactly.
what? You'll probably find out something more in depth, right?
Hmm.
You got cats that started smoking cigars after their grandfather died, and that
Mm.
was their grandfather's favorite cigar.
Yep.
So
Uh-huh.
that's a way for them to keep a connection
Connection.
with
Yeah.
their granddaddy because that was his favorite cigar,
Oh,
and
yep.
that's the only cigar they smoked. I respect that, man. I respect that to the utmost,
Yeah.
and I understand it. So I always try to find out somebody's story. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I want to try to build a relationship just to
Yep.
we can be cordial because I speak to everybody. When I walk in
Yeah.
Coronas, bro, I speak to everybody. And some of my buddies look at me like, "No, bro, like seriously, man, that guy over." I say, "Man, let me tell you something. That guy's a person, bro.
Yeah.
He got a family. He got a. If I can make your day happier, because I came over there and dapped you up,
Yeah.
and you sitting over by
Exactly.
yourself, but everybody else walk by and don't say nothing to you. He go, you know what, man? That's my buddy Howie. So he come in and he see me in the corner. Hey, Howie, and
Yeah.
people be like, I'm like, what's up, baby? You know why? Because everybody needs to feel special
Well,
in mind. Like
exactly.
we got something coming. It's not that
Yep.
bad in life if we're sitting down and we're drinking a scotch or whatever it is your choice of drink, and then you're having a cigar. It's not that bad. And
Yeah.
some people do it every single
Single. Yeah.
day, right when they get off, and then they got to go home for dinner.
Yep.
I have a buddy. Actually, I'm doing he's a really cool guy. I
Yeah.
met him like 13 years ago.
Yeah.
And when I got into the cigar business, he was one of the first people to buy a box of my Magic Stick, Cameroon. Then he bought a box
Mm-hmm.
of the Big Sur, the Leons. Then he bought a box of the other ones. But he always tells me, because his palate fluctuates, which is his favorite at the time. And he
Mm-hmm.
smokes, of course, he smokes other stuff as well.
Yeah.
But he keeps me in
In the
the
loop.
rotation.
Yeah.
So it's like this. I look at
That's
it like this: if
all
a
you want to be is
person
the
smokes
rotation.
if a guy smokes 10 cigars in a week, right? And two of them is off a Howard G cigar, I got 20% of his smoking, bro.
Exactly.
It's been 20%,
That's all
right?
you want.
If out of 10 in a month and two of them was with, guess what? I got 10. If I got one out of the 10, I still got 10%, right? That's how I look at it. And then there's some people that smoke 10 a day, right? But
Yeah.
my thing is, this gentleman worked for Lockheed Martin for 33 years. Every single day, Monday through Friday, when he would get off of work, which was down the road from Corona, he would pull up there. He would have a cigar. He would order him one double scotch. He
Yep.
would sit down. His name is Steve. He would smoke the cigar and drink his scotch. And then he was leaving because he had to go home for dinner, and he had to get
Yep.
up 4 a.m. in the morning, and he did it
Yep.
again every single day. So me and him became really cool friends. He's an Eagle fan. I'm a Cowboy, of course. Well, we're
Oh
Cowboys.
God.
So, but it was always pleasant. And this gentleman told me 18 months ago, he goes, Howie, I'm about to hang it up. I'm just about to hang it up. After 33 years, or however he's going to retire, a great career now. Lockheed Martin.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
ever, yeah, that's a very great career. Great career. So I told him, I said, listen, I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a retirement party for you.
Yeah.
Right? I said, I know which is his favorite blends or whatever, and I had my factory do something for me like 6 months ago. So now next week I'm gonna find out which is the best date that I have available, and then I'm gonna contact him, have him come to Corona, and I have a humidor with 100 cigars. Where we got his own bands made
Yeah.
for his retirement and everything like that, right?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna bring a bottle of Macallan and a bottle of wine or however, and then we're gonna hang out, and then we're gonna celebrate him for his retirement, and then I'm gonna present him with that humidor, with the cigars in it with his own name on it. Now, here's the thing. All I'm telling him is I've already told him I was gonna do it. He's like, no, how you gotta do that? I said, bro, you don't understand, bro. You are a model of how living a great life is. You have a great career, but you know what?
Mm-hmm.
You don't let your work or whatever get in the way of your cigar smoke. When
Yeah.
he gets off of
Exactly.
work, he gets excited, bro, to drive just to come in. He's gonna have one stick and he's gonna have a scotch.
Yeah.
Now he might smoke or have another one at home later, but he's gonna come here and do that, and he does that every single time, Monday through Friday. And the only time he didn't do it if Lockheed sent him to another state to
Yep.
work on a big project.
Yeah.
But those are the relationships that I create,
Yeah.
right? And that's what's most important to me is the relationship. Man, damn, we already at an hour. God, dog it. Damn, see, yeah, bro. But listen, let me finish what I'm saying because I'm already speaking, right? The thing about it is that to me that means a lot because that's the person that now while he's off, he's traveling, he's gonna naturally be like, hey, you want to try my cigar? Hey man, this was a special cigar. It was a gift from my buddy. How would you? Da, da, da. By the way, he also has this, right?
Yep.
And so those type of things, I just feel like it's meant a lot for just building a relationship with just
Mm-hmm.
individuals and stuff like that, man. And golf, I don't know. Did I tell you about my golf line?
No. Well, so you know, the no, we actually haven't gotten to the golf line yet. Sorry about that.
So we released. Here's a box of it here. So it's called the Perfect Round.
Okay.
So it's the front nine and the back nine. Matter of fact, I'll open one up for you.
Okay.
So we released it at PCA. Um, we doing so much golf, and I know down where you're at, I know you got people that love golf, but I also
Oh yeah.
know that you don't play golf as much as people down here because
Yeah, because the
how long
weather. Yeah.
the weather y'all shut down for like 5 months or something when
Yeah,
it's
about around like end of October, November, and then like But what happens is if there's a day where it's like in the winter where it's like in the 50s,
uh-huh
people bundle up and they get on that
and,
course.
wow.
You know.
But so for us, I would say last year, um, I did a total of between being there personally or just having our cigars there. Last year we did 19 golf events,
Yep. Uh huh.
and so but then when I look at my actual buddies and friends, I have guys that literally smoke. I mean, they play golf like it's like twice a week. Some
Yeah.
guys. I got one buddy. Out of 365 days, he plays golf 220 days.
Wow.
Like it's that serious.
Yeah.
So we released the Perfect Round,
Which is that's amazing.
and so this one, if you look at it here,
Oh wow.
what
Okay.
it
Oh
what it, what it
wow.
is so you have two different cigars inside here. So typically,
Ah.
when you tee off, typically it's normally earlier in the morning. So
Yep.
what this cigar is right here is the front nine. So this is
Yeah.
going to be a
Okay.
Connecticut shade of 52 by 7. So
Mm.
it's not because when you're dealing with the smaller the ring gauge, the more you taste everything with the cigar,
Yep.
right?
Exactly. Yep.
So it's not too small, but it's not too big either.
Yep.
But it's very flavorful, and so that's for the front nine. And then here, when you get to the back nine, you have the back nine cigar, and that's going to be the same binder and filler, but it's just different wrapper. So this
Mm.
wrapper right here is a sun-grown habano, and
Okay.
so it's designed for you when you go to play golf. It's kind of like Noah's Ark, 2 by 2, right?
Yep.
It's the front nine and the back nine. They go together. They're like twins, and that's why I put them
Hmm.
in the same box. And the reason why is because we believe that those cigars, whether you smoke the back nine first and then the front nine or vice versa, we believe that that cigar actually complements you on your golf game.
Yeah.
And so I have my guys that are golfers, and what was so cool is, I have my certain guys that they have the um oh absolutely. I was reading the comment right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nah,
smoke to your
yeah.
palate. Absolutely. That's
Yeah.
the best
He
thing.
also asked he actually also asked if is that gonna be happening in September?
Which one?
Uh
What happened in September?
for your friend. The cigar. And it was when you doing the humidor for him.
The humidor. Oh yeah, so no, I'm doing that next week.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm giving it. So it's already made. It's already done. Only problem is I've been so swamped. So he retired. He retired like June 8th or June 9th,
Yeah.
and so we had events in the end of June, and then we had the PCA show, right?
Yeah.
That's in Vegas, and that was July. So then after that, as soon as we got back, then I had some events in Central Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have, like, for instance, like tomorrow, I have an event in Melbourne at Executive Cigar. And then Thursday, I released the Perfect Round at Corona Lake Mary store.
Yeah.
And then we have to ship out all the orders from the show of just the Perfect Round because all the other product has been shipped out.
Yeah.
It's just this one we're releasing on the 10th. And so, and then from there, I'm in, where am I? Beginning of September, Florida State plays on September 3rd against LSU, so I'm there, you know.
Okay.
But then after that, I'm in Denver for a week.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh, so yeah. So in Denver, it's a golf event.
Okay. So
So I'm going to be
yeah.
good.
No, I was gonna say I'm actually gonna be in Miami in the end of September.
In the end of September. The end of September, I'm in Dallas and in Houston.
Oh man.
I'm
Listen,
in Dallas and in Houston.
now, when you go to Dallas, you're going to a game, right?
Absolutely. How about them Cowboys? So I'm thinking about going. So I'm going to do an event while I'm in Dallas, right?
Okay. You
So
know what?
so
I have a lot of people. I have a lot of people that I know in Dallas for my cigar group.
okay.
So if you can just let me know the date. I'll let my guys know, and this way when you have your event, I'll let my guys know to hop over and show you some support.
Absolutely. So I have a buddy. Well, one of my buddies from here in Orlando
Yeah.
years ago, for years, he actually moved to Dallas. So proud of this brother. He started his own cigar shop in Arlington. It's called the Blueprint Cigar
Okay.
Lounge.
Okay.
Name is Warren Jackson. That's a buddy
Okay.
of mine. He used to smoke out here in Coronas and everything. So he's like, Howard G, you're gonna have to come do an event for me, man.
Yeah.
And he said, I know I can get you when it's Cowboy season. I said, well,
Yeah.
look, this year we look like we should be able to. We retired Tom Brady. That's what
Yeah.
I hang my hat on. We retired Tom Brady.
Well, I would say this:
And
our
so,
defense is going to be a top 3 defense. It's going to be
absolutely.
It's going to be the offense that's going to be the issue.
I call Dak
a bum.
I call Dak. No. Dak, I didn't say that. Dak. But can you watch the podcast? That wasn't me. That was him. But I will say this: he's like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Saying? So I just hope that we run the ball more.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel bad because we don't have Zeke, but I understand business.
He's coming home. Don't worry, he's coming home.
He better take $3 million.
Hey,
if
listen,
you think he's getting 12, he got another thing coming.
Here's my thing about the Cowboys. You need you make more money as a Cowboy off the field than you do on the field.
Absolutely. Endorsement. America's team.
So you make so much more money by being a legendary Cowboy than anything else because you make that long money. You making consistent money every year. They had Jay Novacek showed up to every Cowboy game doing autograph signings. Going home with probably maybe 7 in cash, anywhere between maybe $5,000 to $8,000 from just doing autograph signings.
That's cheap.
Exactly. Well, because I think it's $25 for the picture, $50 for the picture in the autograph. For him to take the picture and autograph the picture is like $50. And you doing that for anywhere from 5. You're doing that from anywhere to, anywhere from 300 people to 500 people. Because don't forget, they're coming there before the game.
Got you.
And you sitting there before the game, people lined up, getting their jerseys signed from you, and that's the one thing about being a Cowboy legend. And then Jerry gonna take care of you because Jerry gonna say, all right, you can either work for me or I'll get you an interview here. Oh, you want to work for Fox? All right, I'll get you an interview there.
Well, Jerry Jones owns the NFL Network. So
what?
Jerry Jones owns the NFL Network.
No, you're lying.
No, I swear.
Are you? That's crazy. That is that's crazy.
That's why like they always talk about the Cowboys no matter what.
Yeah.
Jerry Jones owns the NFL Network.
Well,
you can Google it.
Well, Jerry.
I got insider information.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, but the thing is, Jerry. See, I'm worried about when Steven. I don't mind Steven, but Jerry's business mind is second to none.
Yeah,
his business mind when it comes to Jerry goes, any media is good media. So ESPN talks Cowboys. ESPN talks Cowboys all the time, all day. Fox Sports talk the Cowboys all the time, more than any other team in the NFL. You could be winning
exactly
no matter what. The Cowboys could be 4-12 this year.
That's
the Cowboys are gonna get a segment.
You're right. You better believe it. So America's team.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna have to run, bro. My other phone is buzzing me down.
Yeah,
I
no
got.
problem.
But listen, what I want to do is this. Let's set up another segment because
Yeah, man. Yeah,
I need to be smoking too, and I
yeah,
ain't gonna lie.
yeah.
I'm 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 jealous, bro. You over here blowing away like
Oh,
this and
listen,
stuff, and I'm in the office like I
how
wish.
I am loving this cigar. I'm enjoying it,
I
man. So
appreciate you, bro.
yeah, I'm enjoying it. So I'm like halfway through, and I'm like I need to take my time with this
No, we're
because
gonna do another one. Let's do
yeah,
another one next week, right? Like
okay,
around the same type of time. Just as
yeah,
long as I'm in town, and I'll do it when I'm at the so then I can actually be smoking too.
yeah,
So that
yeah.
I don't see you blowing smoke and making me feel like, man, I'm just sitting in my office. I've been here and
Yeah,
I'm ready to get. But no, but hey, listen, I love the show, man, and
yeah.
whatever I can
Thank you. I
do,
appreciate it, man.
come on there, bro. And if I need to do
Yeah,
one with one of my guys, whatever we can do, brother. Absolutely.
yes, yeah. So if court like I'll post this to I'll download post it tomorrow on YouTube, and then next week we do the same exact thing. If you want, just let me know what time you're available, and we can do the same thing next week.
Okay, cool. Just hit me in the messenger. Hit me and
Yeah,
I give you my direct line so you can just hit me. So I ain't got to
cool.
worry about looking at Facebook.
Nah, no problem at all.
I
Howie, I appreciate it so much, man.
always, my brother. I
All
appreciate you
right,
for the time.
no problem, no problem. All
All right,
right,
bro.
guys, this is Howard G from Howard G Cigars. That was an awesome. I hope you guys really enjoyed that interview. I hope you guys go online and give his cigars a try. The links will be in the description to try his cigars. And until next time, guys, you know the routine. Hit the subscribe button. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And until next time, peace.